in our city region, we have world-class research and innovation capacity, which makes us a leading location for the development, the testing and manufacture of treatments for those diseases. And alongside all this, there's a thriving ecosystem of assets, expertise and collaboration between industry, academia and the NHS. So for us, the high quality jobs associated with this sector are exactly the types of jobs that we want to create within our city region. And that's why life sciences are so important to us locally, but also, of course, nationally to UK PLC. As well as the renowned Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, I suppose this funding recognises the region's existing strengths in this area, and it's a significant public research and development investment which will obviously boost local economic growth, and that in turn will bring further investment into our city region.
The Liverpool City Region and Cheshire and Warrington, because we pull the data through from both areas, has £2 billion per annum in research and development activity in the infectious diseases space. This makes us by far the biggest centre in the UK and one of the biggest centres in Europe. And we have real expertise in some of the neglected diseases within that infection space because of the tropical medicine school being here. That's been very important recently with COVID and other diseases coming from animal into human populations that are not in the mainstream, although COVID now clearly is. So Liverpool has a huge part to play going forward in infection R&D and is already operating from a very, very strong base. We had a really great bid that we put together. So for just over 18 million of government money, we managed to leverage another 90 million. And this was on the back of actually talking about the platforms to different companies and making sure that these were platforms that they really would want to use and that they were actually prepared to pay to bring their first products onto these platforms to take forward. So all of the platforms as we develop them have actual projects queued up to help us develop the platforms and then take them forward. And I think as word grows as to what we've got here, we look at how we expand those platforms to be able to take more projects onto them. But I think the very fact that we were working in an area that was underdeveloped, that was already very strong in the Liverpool City region, that had clearly identified issues in terms of getting products through to the market in a more appropriate format, and then had demonstrated that companies both large and small were willing to interact with these platforms was clearly exactly what the Strength in Places was looking for in terms of driving local economic growth, but equally doing something that was hugely beneficial both to the city region nationally and internationally. I see the Strength in Places as a key component of the ecosystem for infectious diseases going forward for the Liverpool City region. We've already identified this as a strength. The platforms that we've already got under Strength in Places will enhance that and make the offering more obvious from the Liverpool City region. Tied up to that, we have an ERDF platform for small and medium-sized companies to be able to interact not only with the Strength in Places platforms, but with a new formulation platform that we'll also put in place. And then we're setting up agreements with the growth platform, with MTC, with the manufacturing centre at the university, with Unilever and other organisations to make sure that we have an offering here that everybody understands that we can actually use as a growth engine for the region, and that will actually put the ecosystem around infectious R&D onto the international stage in a way that we haven't managed to do so far.